Good morning. I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Cahn, the Book of Mysteries. Picked up a lot of what I'm going to share today from him. So I had to look at the dictionary. I've heard of a myrtle before. A myrtle is it's a shrub. It's in southern parts of Europe. It tends to be in higher places. And the teacher one day points out that you've got a myrtle. You can find it growing on mountains and hills. It prospers in the high places. And if you look up from the myrtle, then you see the stars. And at this time, he's out with the student, and it's evening, and so they can see the stars. And so the myrtle grows under the heavens, but a star exists as part of the heavens. A star is certainly much higher than a myrtle. And then the teacher kind of gets lost in his thoughts a little bit there, but he says, there was once a woman who was lifted up from obscurity and set in a high place, like a myrtle. But she feared losing her high position. So here's the story. We're going to take a look at the life of Esther. And Esther, though she was Jewish, people didn't know that she was Jewish. And she, through sort of this lottery and these other things and a beauty pageant, she becomes queen. And so she is like this myrtle. And that's what her name means. Her name was Hadassah. And Hadassah means myrtle. And so she was an orphan. She had an uncle or cousin, we're not sure exactly what the relation is, but that kind of looked out for her and stuff. But when the day came, she had to make a choice, because she was the queen, but she had this choice that her people were going to be executed. Whether she would have been outed or not, she had to make a choice. And the funny thing is we think of her as a hero, but up until she makes the right choice, she was anything but a hero. She had a nice position and everything, and she was a pretty girl, but she was not a hero. But the day came when she had to make a choice. She could hold on to her high position, or she could risk it all, including her life, to do what was right to save her people. And she ended up choosing to do what was right, and that's why we remember her. She said, if I perish, I perish. And folks, sometimes we reach a point in life where it's like, you know what, if the consequences are too great, it's like, I've got to go with what's right and with what God has for me. And it was in that moment that her life became like greatness, okay? That's why the book is in the Bible. And it's fascinating that the book of Esther does not mention God. We see his fingerprints all over the story, but God is not mentioned in the story. And so when the teacher's explaining this, the student says, yes, so then she's like a star. And it's kind of like, yes, funny you should say that. Because Hadassah had another name. Her name was Esther. And Esther means star. She was born for that moment. But it was only then, when she was willing to sacrifice her life to do what was right, to save others, that her life became a light. And she became the star she was born to be and named to be. Folks, we can learn from her. I love what it says in Daniel chapter 12, verse 3. It says, those who are wise will shine as bright as the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. God wants us to be the light of the world in our generation. No, we can't go back. We're not going to be queen of Persia or anything like that, or king of Persia, whatever it might be. But we're going to be faced with other challenges. Are we willing to do the right thing? And if I perish, I perish. But we were born to shine for God. And when we give that light away, we exit the darkness ourselves. We not only light the world for somebody else, we light the world for ourselves. God bless you. Have a great day.